Hey everyone, I'm attorney Sarah Sparkman. I'm a criminal defense attorney based in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I am a former prosecutor and I've been practicing law in Arkansas for more than a decade. Today's topic is why hire a criminal defense attorney? But before we begin, let me read this disclaimer. Shout out to the Committee on Professional Conduct. This video is for information and education purposes only about the law in the state of Arkansas. This is not legal advice, and these videos do not create an attorney-client relationship between Sparkman Law Firm and any of the viewers. If you are interested in my legal services, I will leave a link to my law firm website in the comments. That being said, let's get started. So, you are charged with a crime in the state of Arkansas, and you are not sure whether you want to hire a criminal defense attorney. Criminal defense attorneys, they cost money. You may be really confident that you are not guilty and think that you can get the case dropped. You may think that you're really familiar with the legal process, or it may just be that you're not contesting the charges and you're willing to handle it yourself. Well, I do have 4 reasons why I think it would be a good idea for you to either hire a private attorney, or if you can't afford your own criminal defense attorney, ask for the court to appoint the public defender to represent you. And I always recommend people contact an attorney to see what they can do. So let's get started with the list of my 4 reasons why I think it would be a good idea to hire a criminal defense attorney if you've been charged with a crime in the state of Arkansas. So here's my list. Reason 1, it's nice to have someone walk you through the process. So in my experience, one of the most stressful parts of being charged with a crime, maybe even more so than the possibility of jail time, is the not knowing part. You know, there's more to court and more to the criminal process than just, showing up, having a trial, and getting your sentence. There are little parts, discovery, motions, showing up to arraignment, showing up to trial, and a lot of times it takes a while to get to each part. So if you hire a criminal defense attorney, they may be able to fill in some of those gaps for you and kind of give you a line of expectation. So your criminal defense attorney cannot guarantee an outcome, but they can say, okay, this is what the possibility is of your sentencing and what I think might happen. Your trial day is going to be this far away. We need to wait on this. I expect to hear from the prosecutor at this time. And so having someone to fill in those gaps can be really comforting, because if you're charged with a crime, you don't need any other added stress of just not knowing, and your criminal defense attorney may be able to alleviate some of that stress. Reason number 2. A criminal defense attorney may be able to save you time. So as I said in part 1, there are lots of parts to a criminal case. And a lot of times each part of the criminal case will require some paperwork to be filed or for someone to appear in court. And sometimes you are going to have to show up for your court appearances, but also sometimes attorneys can handle those matters without you having to participate in it. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm a former prosecutor. I prosecuted more than 8,000 criminal and traffic cases during my career. I can tell you, defendants who had attorneys usually spent less time in court than defendants who were not represented, just because the attorneys know how to navigate the system and know how to, I don't want to say take advantage of the system, but they know how to be efficient in getting the work done. So it's not a guarantee that time will be saved, but that's certainly a possibility and something that your attorney can talk to you about. Which leads me into my next part. Number 3, a trained criminal defense attorney may be able to spot strengths and weaknesses in a case that you wouldn't be able to recognize. And being able to spot these strengths and weaknesses, number one, is going to help you be successful in this case. And number two, it may create some shortcuts for you in the case. You may be able to, get a dismissal or a null pros in the case easier if you've spotted these bad issues in the case, or you may be able to determine that, the facts are really not on my side as a defendant, and this would be the type of case that I want to try to settle. So, for example, I used to be a teacher at the police academy, and I told the police officers there that more often than not, their cases would not be won on actual innocence and guilt. Most of the time, their cases would be won and lost based on whether that first interaction with the defendant was lawful. And a trained criminal defense attorney can make those determinations and make those judgment calls. At the same token, you may think that you have a winning case because an officer didn't read you your Miranda rights, and that may have absolutely no bearing on the outcome of your case. So a trained eye will be able to spot these issues that maybe you as a non-attorney would not be able to spot. Which leads me to point 4. Trials and motions are tricky, and you want a skilled advocate. So I know a lot of people really want to testify in court because they think that it's going to be a cathartic experience and they're really going to get their side of the story out. I'll just tell you that is not my experience that I have seen. Trials are stressful. There are a lot of moving parts. And if you are a criminal defendant, you're going to be emotionally invested in the outcome, which may affect your ability to be able to handle yourself in the courtroom. If you have a skilled criminal defense attorney, they are going to have a thorough understanding of the rules of evidence. They're going to have a good courtroom presence. They're going to be good at direct examination and cross-examination. And they can take care of all of these things for you, so you don't have to worry about that. So again, trials are tricky, and if you can have somebody on your side, if you decide you do want to go to trial in this case, it can save you so much time, so much energy, and just provide so much relief knowing that someone is taking care of you instead of you having to take care of yourself in that moment. So those are my 4 reasons why I think it's a good idea to either hire a criminal defense attorney or ask the court to appoint you a public defender if you cannot afford a criminal defense attorney. There are many more reasons why that it's good to hire a criminal defense attorney. If you have any thoughts, you can drop a comment below. Again, my name is Attorney Sarah Sparkman in Fayetteville, Arkansas. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you all soon.